The LA Kings have got to stop, man, I swear. They've got to stop doing things that make me like them so much. And, quite frankly, be a tad jealous of them too. Today we're going over to a forward on the team that we've talked about a lot over the past few years, but not really because of the best reasons. This was a guy that was a prospect drafted in 2019. He was, in my opinion, arguably the best pure shooter in the entire 2019 NHL Draft, right up there with Cole Caulfield. I felt like Caulfield was the better goal scorer, but I felt like this player had the better shot. He was supposed to be a first-round talent, but he slipped down the rankings due to issues of defensive ability, as well as overall engagement. Today we're going over to the second round, and we're talking about Arthur Kaliyev, a guy who went from a prospect profile that carried a boatload of concerns all the way to what he is today. I've been super vocal over the past few years about Kaliyev and his abilities, his talent, but also we have acknowledged on the channel multiple times the things that caused him to go down, and I just wanted to revisit a lot of that here today because when it comes to what Kaliyev is doing right now in the National Hockey League, it makes all of those conversations 3 years ago about defensive concerns and engagement kind of a moot point. So, Arthur Kaliyev is a 21-year-old forward. He's 6'2", 209 as a left-handed guy. He plays right wing and he plays left wing, and he was taken in the 33rd overall spot. Now, 33rd overall is just at the start of the second round, where a lot of people said he probably should not have even been close to touching. Elite Prospects had Kaliyev ranked number 13, ISS had him at 23, Future Considerations actually had him at number 30, so that is right where he went. McKean's at 21, McKenzie at 21, and he was the 7th ranked North American skater by NHL Central Scouting. And for good reason as well. When Arthur Kaliyev was playing in the Hamilton Bulldogs system in his draft season, he had 51 goals and 51 assists in 67 games. This guy was an absolute goal-scoring beast, and if you read a lot of the scouting reports from the time, you'll see that those sentiments reign true in his profile. EP Ringside says that Kaliyev does an excellent job at finding soft spots in the offensive zone, getting to them with his stick ready to retrieve a pass and send it home. People understate Kaliyev's hockey sense. His wrist shot is, and it should almost go without saying, high-end as well. McKean's went out there and wrote about his heavy slap shot, his wicked one-timer, and how he rounds off that arsenal with an above-average snapshot and wrist shot. Arthur Kaliyev was a goal-scoring monster, but as we had highlighted in this Concerns I Have with Arthur Kaliyev video, there was a bit more than just the goal-scoring that you needed to pay attention to. As a result, though, he slipped to the second round where the LA Kings took him up, and he went back to the OHL getting 98 points in 57 games the next year. The season after that, he had played for the Team USA World Junior team as well as the Ontario Reign. He was a pretty good pro right off the bat, scoring 31 points in 40 games, and he had one game at the LA Kings level, scoring a goal in that one as well. Last season, though, Kaliyev played his first full season with the LA Kings, getting 27 points in 80 games, 14 goals, 13 assists, definitely not bad for a guy who was only drafted just a few years ago. But of course, a lot of people went out there and said, hey, we know that this is just the start of his career. He's going to get better, and for Kaliyev, we all kind of knew that if he panned out to the potential that he had, we're looking at a consistent 25 to 30 goal scorer who maybe gets 40 goals in a season, maybe even 45 if he wanted to push it, because his goal scoring ability was just so rock solid that there was going to be little that stops this guy if he finds his groove in the National Hockey League, either on the right side in the power play where he's ripping pucks on the one-timer, or stationing him on the left side with the strong side shot. This season, though, it seems to be the latter, as Kaliyev, in the 17-game sample he has had with the Kings so far, is at a whopping 6 goals, 7 assists for 13 total points. The guy is on pace for 62 points on the year as a second-round pick drafted 3 years ago. Here's a post on the Our Hockey subreddit that kind of put my attention onto this entire thing in the first place. Kaliyev has 11 points in 16 games despite being 12th in time on ice for the Kings forwards. He is 5th in points for the team, absolutely killing it with limited ice time, and he is only on the second power play. He's got a 52.7% Corsi 4 as well. And then the first comment says, I think you heard you talking. The dude just scored 2 more goals in the first 10 minutes of the game. And this is really what good depth is able to accomplish for you. Because when it comes to guys that are like Kaliyev, obviously, even though I never doubted the talent for 1 second, I was always sort of concerned as to whether or not he would translate in the ways that we had hoped he would. There were legitimate concerns about defensive efficiency and whether or not his tendency to kind of take his foot off the gas pedal in his own zone and not really backcheck as hard, whether or not those qualities would hold him back from being a legit NHL player. But again, it's only been 3 years, and now he's already one of the top forwards on the team when it comes to points. This is not even a first-line, top 6, first power play type of guy. Kempe, Fiala, and Velarde are the shooters on the first power play, with Kopitar and Doughty as facilitators, so it's unlikely that Kaliyev is actually going to get bumped up there. He's doing well under the radar on the fourth line, getting good matchups. We might see him moved up in minutes if injuries and big slumps start to happen. And this is how you build your team, man. You get young guys, really talented guys that play in the bottom of your lineup but are still able to produce. In fact, if you took Arthur Kaliyev and the first round pick that the Kings had in that draft, Alex Turcotte at 5th overall, and you swapped the two, let's say hypothetically Kaliyev went 5th and Turcotte instead went 33rd, their development honestly matches a little bit better than it is now. Turcotte has been recovering from injuries, he has been slowed down so much, so it's really unfortunate, and that's kind of why I say that if you take a look at his progression, if you said that this was a guy drafted in the second round, I wouldn't have been all too surprised, because not playing all too much, getting a limited sample in the AHL, of course injuries are not his fault, but it's just kind of how the cookie crumbles, and now Kaliyev is playing like a guy that if he was taken 5th overall 3 seasons ago, you might be like, okay, I mean, that's not that bad. The guy's on pace for 60 points and 30 goals, and he's getting so little minutes of time on ice per game. Let's go over onto Dobber Prospects and read what Benjamin Garrels writes about when it comes to Kaliyev and the journey. This is an article preaching patience for Parssinen, Kaliyev, and Rathbone, and I think there's a really good perspective brought up in this article as well. Link in the description if you want to go ahead and read it. Kaliyev seems to be taking a noticeable step forward so far in his second NHL year. Although he's not lighting the league on fire yet like fellow goal-scoring phenom Cole Caulfield, Kaliyev has been seeing a steady dose of power play time, albeit often with the second unit, and he has 4 power play points already. There are a couple of concerning signs in the short term, though. He is not shooting a ton, 2.1 shots a game, and his shot is definitely his primary weapon. Also, he has largely been buried down in the fourth line with depth players like Blake Lizotte and Brendan Lemieux. I imagine Kaliyev might have seen more time in the top 6 alongside a Kopitar if it wasn't for Gabe Velarde stepping up in such a dramatic fashion, but as it is, the top 3 lines seem a little more or less set for the LA Kings. And so ultimately, what I really want in the comment section here is for some good analysis. If any LA Kings fans are watching this video, which I know you are, because we've got a pretty good LA fan base on this channel that pops up once in a while anytime I talk about Kings young guys, what are your thoughts about Kaliyev and the way that he's performed so far? Are you kind of okay with the ice time because he is scoring points, or are you on the more, hey, we need to give this guy an opportunity kind of train, where you acknowledge how well he's already playing in a sheltered role, and you try to expand on what's already there? You give him more talented players to play with other than Blake Lizotte, and you try to see what Kaliyev playing for an offensive line could actually look like. He's already producing a lot. You don't get a 60-point pace in your second NHL season if you're a bum, especially playing on the fourth line, but what exactly do you think should be the plan here? We know that the LA Kings have such a good young prospect system that there are going to be so few spots to give to other younger guys breaking onto the team and being as good as they could be, because you're still waiting on Byfield, you're still waiting on Turcotte, you're still waiting on Tyler Madden, I guess. Kaliyev creeping in here and being as good as he is could be a sign of things to come when it comes to the future of filling out the lineup on this team, and I'm kind of looking forward to it because the LA Kings have done a really good job with their drafting, and as a result, I'm excited for them too. So talk to the comments on your thoughts about Arthur Kaliyev, how he's played so far, what do you think about his long-term projectability, what do you think he's going to do at the end of this season, how many points does he get, does he get 60, does he expand a little bit more, maybe reach up to 70 points if he gets power play one time, which is unlikely, but weirder things have happened. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Juraj, and bye.